time. Welcome, everybody. This is 3B Session Breakdown. I'm Andrea Merriman, your Creative Harmony Coach. I'm also the creator of the Jennifer Y. Merriman Help Program, a program that offers hope, empowerment, life skills, and prevention against domestic violence. This is for women from their youth up. Today, we're going to start what I call 3B, because we're going to talk about what it takes, what we need for you to have your breakdown. Yes, you got to be willing to have a breakdown before you can be successful. Your breakdown comes before your breakthrough. Once you're familiar with your breakthrough, it's time to build up. So we're going to walk you through steps that can help you do that. If you're here with me live, if you will, go ahead and put into our Sisters Clothing Strength group 3B in session so we can remind everybody that it's time to join us and catch it. If you're catching this during the replay, if you will put replay, 3B session, 3B in session replay, so I can keep an idea of who's watching this. This will be available for 48 to 72 hours, and then I'll take it down. So you need to be, you don't have to catch each one of them live, but you will need to look at them in the next couple of days, because it'll be time to put the next one up each week. So what we're looking at, I'm going to go through each session and kind of tell you a little bit more about how we're going to do this. But each week we're going to have this session. There's 3 parts of the breakdown. So what I want you to do, if you have any questions between now and next week with this, you can instant message me. Most of you know how to get in touch with me. You can put a question in the chat room if you think it's something everybody else may be asking, and just go ahead and let us know how you feel about this. If it's something that you think is interesting, that you want to make sure other people are, make sure they're registered. We have quite a few people registered that, may have to catch this on the replay. So just let us know how you feel about it and what you're thinking about the program. So just continue to give us your information. So like I said, anytime during this you have a question, put it in the chat box and I'll tell you how to do. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with this. So also understand that what we have here, the whole purpose of this is to come together and be able to have those conversations that we are having, not necessarily as just information I'm giving, but to have you to ask questions. Now, I know that I do my tea and pearls on Wednesdays, and it's kind of like, highlighting and spotlighting some of my friends and the things that we do. I want this to be more about you. I want this to go into what you need to get to your next. You may have a coach. You may need a coach. If you're looking for a transformational coach, I am available. I'm going to give you some information on that also. If you're looking for someone to help you through your next and your spiritual growth, we can help you through that. But this is for you to grow. This is for you to understand exactly what it takes for you to be able to build the harmony in your life that you need. And so as we go through this, understand that this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's going to be so many pieces that you really need to go into it a little bit deeper with yourself that we can't do as much because we're doing this in a group. So if you feel that you need some more one-on-one time, let me know. I'll give you some information at the end how you can schedule that. But this is for you to grow, and this is going to get you started. We're going to come with some ideas and some tips. So I hope you have your pen and paper, take notes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. And I have a short PowerPoint. And I'm going to walk you through these pieces. So as I said, the main things we want to talk about is your breakdown, your breakthrough, and your build up. So basically what we're wanting to do, let me straighten this up a little bit, is start building that creative harmony you hear me talk about all the time. Put that creative harmony into your life. So who am I and why should you even care? Why should you be here listening to me about creative harmony, trying to figure out what it is and what does it mean to you? So I'm Andrea Merriman. I'm a minister of God. I'm a wife. I'm a mother, certified life coach. Where so many of us are doing different things in different aspects and our niches in our life coach. Harmony is one of the ones that I've chosen to just give the holistic view of what you need in your life to get to your next. You may have a business coach. You may have someone who's, helping you on different aspects. I've had several different coaches from different things that I've had to go through. And so I'm a certified life coach, which in my part, I work with creating harmony into your life. I'm also the master domestic violence help coach. I'm an author. I have a journal that's out. I have an anthology that's out, working on another. I am the creator and the facilitator of the Jennifer Y. Merriman Help Program. And that program has been going on since 2015. And we're now starting to not only hold it locally, but I'm going to have my first virtual class in November. So November 11th, if that's something you need, if you've been through domestic violence, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 5 years that you've been surviving past it, and this program is for you. It's something you can get from that. I have also produced Lunch and Learn since majorly since 2014 and 15, but it's something I've been doing. I've been a training facilitator for over 20 years. I've produced my first major conference, which was a 2-day conference, actually a 2.5-day conference, Propel Power to Your Purpose, which was 2016, which was a phenomenal thing. You can go online and we can show you some of the pictures from that. I am the producer of the Tea and Pearls gathering that I had just this March, where we came together and we talked about the things that we can do to eradicate domestic violence. And I have been a human resource professional since 1994. So I'm able to help you train and facilitate. And as we work through building that harmony in your life and your business, I'm going to understand those pieces because I've had to help facilitate training, of managers, supervisors, those type things. So I understand the KSAs, the knowledge, skills, and abilities needed in those positions. So that's who I am. That's why this is so important that you're listening to this and that you're going through this, because I am able to take you to your next, to help you through that transformational piece and get you ready. Because like I said, you may have a business coach that is really guiding you in your business, but there's that one piece, there's that one niche inside you that you can't figure out why you can't get to it. And hopefully as we go through this, and especially as we go through this breakdown part of it, you will start to see the holistic piece that may be missing inside it. Maybe something that's just burning inside you that you haven't been able to fight off or deal with. And we're going to start working on that now. So the first part of this that we're going to deal with right now is we're going to start today. It's going to be facing reality. The major piece of why we have a hard time dealing with things is because we don't want to face the reality of what's going on right now. That's why some people end up, eating too much or drinking too much or getting into fighting or arguing when they shouldn't be, or taking it out on other people. So what we're going to talk about tonight is facing reality. We're going to do an exercise about unfolding what's going on with you. So I hope you have your pen, paper, and pencil and be ready to go through that. So we're going to go into who I am, who you are, and what that means to you. Why are you feeling that way? Trust in yourself. And these are, I say trust in me, but it's trust in you. This is what you're doing. These are the pieces we're going to go through to get you to trust in yourself again. Start trusting the decisions that you make. Trust in the process. Trust in the process of what needs to happen as you face reality. Next week, we're going to talk about how to own it. I'm an advocate for life ownership, understanding where you are and what you've done in your life. That these are things that you need to own and see what you could have done different. What signs did you miss? What did you do? We're going to talk about serenity. We're going to talk about my alabaster table. We're going to help you define your table. Then the week after, we're going to prepare for battle. And battle is balancing your time and energy, constantly in action, the trials and tribulations, the tears that come with it, the love that comes with it, and the energy needed for this breakdown. So we're going to take this breakdown into 3 segments, and we're going to really dig deep into what is keeping you from your next. And so you'll have a game plan of where you need to go after this. So let's go ahead and get started. Does anybody, I'm going to look in the chat. I'm going to stop share for just a moment. Anybody have any questions? I don't see any. Don't see any in the Q&A. I just wanted to check before I moved any further. So, facing reality. What do I mean by facing reality? So, there's so many times that we want to help other people, and we put it in front of ourselves that what we want to do is help other people. You've heard me talk through the year talking about the piece of being a people pleaser. Sometimes that's us. Sometimes we're not that people pleaser. Sometimes we've been hurt so bad that we've decided that we're not the person, we're not going to allow that to happen to us. So we end up being the abuser. Sometimes we have gotten to the point that it's hard for us to decide which part of that spectrum that we are. How do we create that harmony? But the main thing we need to do, we need to look at our reality. We need to start paying attention of what we're thinking and what we're feeling. One of the things I like to tell people to do is to start looking at how you're feeling. So many times we've broken down ourselves and quit looking at how we feel about things because we've decided our opinion doesn't matter. We have decided that we're trying to live our purpose and our passion, and so we are continuing to think we need to help other people. So one of the things that we need to do is to start unfolding that piece. Start unfolding what's happening to us. So we start out, we say, okay, I've had pain, I've had a problem, I'm worked on me, I'm trying to fix this. One of the things we want to make sure is as we're doing is that we're not bleeding over into the people that we're trying to work on. So what we do is we go out and we buy this gadget and that gadget, this problem solver, this software. And we think we need all these things because we're building our business or we're building our ministry or we're building our purpose within, volunteer work. But we go out and we buy all these things thinking this is the piece I need. And you still can't get past a certain point. So you buy something else. Well, if I have this, I know it's going to happen. Or we start looking at that event. Well, if I can go to this event and I can speak at this event, this is going to be the best one here. And I know after this, life is just going to skyrocket, and it doesn't. Then we feel sad. Then we feel depressed. Then we get upset. And then we lull around for a little bit. And then what happens? Then we see this next big shiny thing. Excuse me, we see this next big shiny thing and we want to go to it. We invest in that. We do that. And then we come to find out that didn't do exactly what it is. So what is it that's causing the problem? What is it? Something inside of us? Are we not seeing it right? And it may be that we need to hire a business coach. It may be just business, but a lot of times it's us trying to put in place something that's not there. And so let's look at a scenario. Oftentimes when we start talking about women and giving, we start talking about, oh, that cup, pouring from a cup. My cup is empty. My cup, but really, the fact is, if we really look at what we're doing, we're trying to pour not from a cup. We are serving from a kettle. We are serving from a teapot. Even more because we have these big dreams that we want to create and give to the masses. We want to help everybody around. So let's think about that. How are we going to do that? So imagine this. I want you to imagine this. So we're having this huge tea party, and we've decided we want to get people together. We want to have our friends over. You know, we've got like 10 to 12 of our best friends coming over, and we're going to be talking and having a good time with our tea. So we've set the table up. They're coming in, they're laughing, they're joking, they're grabbing a little orders. Well, you get ready to serve. You get ready to pour, and your kettle is empty. Your teapot is empty. So now you're upset. Okay, what did I do? What happened? Why is it empty? And it could be various reasons. It could be that you forgot to put the water in there. It could be that you hired somebody to do this for you. They didn't show up, and you thought that they had already been there and done it. It could be that you forgot. You've been running with the family all day. And all these things you forgot, so you don't have the water that's in there. But the fact is, you don't have it. So no matter the reason, you're not prepared, you're empty. So basically, this teapot is what's happening to you. It's what's happening to you as you try to give everything you have into your business. You're trying to do everything, and you're trying to move things around so that you can serve this and serve the people you want to serve, but you're forgetting to do the simple things. You're forgetting to fill up. You're forgetting to fill up yourself. We're pushing back time that we should be meditating. We're pushing back time that we should be exercising. We're pushing back time that we need to be, scheduling time for our family and our friends and to do the important things. And so what are we going to do now is I'm going to, like I said, give you an exercise of unfolding. So get out a blank piece of paper. Give you time to do that. So you can turn your paper however you want to do it. I usually turn mine sideways like this and kind of fold it. You don't have to fold it, but that's just how I do. So you can take that, but at the top of it, I want you to put Creative Harmony, Me Unfolding. If you're one of the people who like to work on your computer, you can do that too. You can put out a Word document or whatever and do that. But Creative Harmony, Me Unfolding. So this is all about you. Remember, this piece is about you. You unfolding. So underneath that, on the left-hand side of that paper, write fold it. And underneath fold it, put down 1 through 5. And then on the right side of that paper, put unfold it, and 1 through 5. So let me know. Type into your chat box done when you have all that written down. So the top of the paper should say Creative Harmony, me unfolding. On the left hand side, it should say fold it, number 5. Right hand side of the paper should say unfold it, 1 through 5. So type into the chat box done so I know that you have your paper ready. Yes, we are fooling ourselves, Doretta. You're right. Oftentimes we do. So is everybody done? Okay, so once you do that, go ahead, put your pencil down, and I want you to sit back in your chair, and I want you to, wiggle a little bit, just kind of take a deep breath and relax. Stretch if you need to, just kind of loosen up a little bit. And then once you do that, take a deep breath and relax. Sit back and close your eyes. And then I want you to imagine your happy space. Whether that happy space is you on a beach, in the mountains, laying in your bed, in a jacuzzi, wherever that happy place is, wherever the place that makes you feel warm and tingly and, just aha moment, nothing bothering you, no cell phones, no work, no computers, no dings, no dongs, and just relax. And breathing in and out slowly. And once you get into that place, just take a moment and relax. Take a deep breath in through your nose at the count of 4 and out through your nose at the count of 4. And do this 4 times. Now, on the folded side, I want you to write down what you're feeling right now. How has your day been? What's happened to you? What's going on? What did you think when you tuned in tonight? What kind of things did you rush around to do? You may have more than 5, but just put 5 for now. So, um, now after you do that, I want you to do that again. Just sit back and relax and think of that day going, how the day went, the 5 things that you wrote down. And then I want you to look at those 5 things. And if there were negative things, write the opposite under unfolded, because that's where you want to be. Write the opposite. If it was something negative, put the opposite over there. Leave all your positive stuff there. It's fine. because those are not the things you need to work on. But the negative things that you have down, put them on the unfolded side. And imagine if all of those were positive. If they all were, kudos to you. But as you breathe and you start imagining these things that you had tucked away, imagine them coming out and unfolding. Imagine that energy that was negative, that anxious feeling, those stressed out feelings coming out and becoming unfolded. Kind of like a rose in the morning, the little rosebud, and as the morning dew hits them, they start unfolding and opening up and becoming brighter. That's what you're going to start doing as you start going through your breakdown. You're going to start noticing these petals starting to open. You're going to notice yourself just starting to open up. But first thing you got to do is start to be able to understand what you're looking like folded. A cute little rosebud, yes, but just imagine the blossoming out, the petals that are out. And just imagine that each one of those negative feelings turning out into an open petal to where the rain and the water and the sun can wash away that bad part of it and leave it looking good. So as you start unfolding those tucked away feelings, as you start doing that and you start breathing through, just imagine the colors of those petals. Imagine those happy places that you'll be. If you've always wanted to go to a certain beach, imagine those rose petals turning those green colors. And then write those feelings down. Write down what that could be. And notice those. It says, look, as you look at the two lists and you notice any similarities, if there are not many, then you know where you need to start. If there are several ways that you can get on the harmony side, so write down your whys. And then we're going to start working on a plan to eliminate those negative pieces of there. But you need to know how you're feeling now. And for the next few weeks, we're going to start unfolding those rose petals. We're going to start opening them up and start looking at the positive side of that. And as you do that, start putting down the pieces. Who am I? Write down underneath that, who am I? And then write down for yourself, who are you? How do you feel about who you are? How do you identify yourself? Are you constantly identifying yourself as somebody else's something, somebody else's mother, somebody else's wife? And those are great things because those are blessings for sure. But what other pieces are you identifying yourself? Just underneath that paper, you can have your folded, unfolded, and then like in the middle there or on either side, it would probably be more in the middle. Write down, who am I? And then write down at least 3 things right now. And I want you to go back as you do this. You can add numbers and steps to this, but this is just to give you an idea of what you want to start doing as we start going through this breakdown. Because we need to identify. Today is all about identifying where we need to go, what we need to start on. So look at it. Who am I? Put down 3 things that you are. So in the chat box right now, those of you that are working through this, tell me, give me one thing. Who are you? Who are you? I gave you a whole list of things that I say I am, so surely you guys can come up with at least one. Type in the chat box here, who are you? I know I'm telling y'all to do a lot of writing, so I'm going to give you a few minutes to do a little bit of that there writing. But let us know who you are. A registered nurse, a mother, a wife, a speaker, a friend, a single mom nurse. Shoot, we ought to be feeling good. We got two nurses here. We ought to be doing good tonight. If we get sick, we know who to call on. Y'all too. A speaker. But as we go through this, I want you to start adding to these each week. Just have that paper. You might want to, you may discover another problem or another issue that you're having that you want to put on the folded side. And then on the unfolded side, the opposite of that. How do you want to fix that? What do you want to get to? What is your goal side? Trust in me. You know, part of this is that I am wanting you to trust this process of me, of what I'm telling you in this, because these are things that I've had to deal with myself. These are things that I've worked with other clients doing. And I understand that the main part of this is facing that reality, understanding who we are and what pieces of us that we have problems with. And so I need you to do that. And then I need you to trust yourself. See, so many times that we've been through problems and we've been through scenarios of trials and tribulations that we do not trust ourselves. We believe that other people's decisions sound better. We do something and we think, oh my gosh, I love that. I did it. It's so great. But then we look at something somebody else did and we want to go back and change our piece. See, part of this breakdown is to break down why you're feeling inferior to everybody else. Why do you feel inferior to your neighbor, your friend, your sisters? Why are you feeling that way? Break that piece down. We're going to break that down as we continue unfolding these pieces, opening up that rose petal. You need to start trusting yourself. And part of that is knowing that. See, when you know what you're thinking and why you're feeling that way, and you're facing exactly what is reality that's in front of you, you're going to understand and trust yourself, because you're going to know that you went through the thought process. You went through the thought process based on what you know, and you're going to feel good about what you're doing. So if you're having problems right now trusting yourself, that may be something that you want to put on the folded side. I don't trust myself. I feel inferior to other people. I feel inferior to my sister, to my brother, to my family, to my friends. Or I just feel inferior to everybody on Facebook because they all look like they like making mega money when they just as broke as I am. So why are we feeling that we're in the smaller spot when we know that the majority of the people doing all these posting are doing all these posts? If they have time to do as many posts as I see some people doing, I know they don't have no money because they must not have no job. And they can't be making a whole lot of money because somebody else will be doing these posting for them. But yet we sit and we look at this and we go, oh, she's here and she's there and she's here and she's there. And if she's doing all these posting herself, then she's in the same spot you do. Now, if you look at some of these other people where you see that they have, virtual assistants, or they have a team of people doing this for them and they're doing it in their name, that's different. But trust in what you're doing and not always looking at what somebody else is doing and trying to say that they're doing better than you. So you need to start trusting what you know of yourself. Yes, trust your own process, and then trust the process. Trust the process of what you know to do. You know at this point, if you're here, you know at this point for a certain amount of things that you know that you can do. You know that there's a step up. You may need to go and find somebody else to help you get to that part. But where you are now, You should trust the process of what you're doing. You know, if you have a business coach, trust what your business coach is telling you as a process because they're telling you how they got there. Quit saying, oh, it don't work for me because it's not going to work for me because she or I. The process is there. They've worked through it. They're telling you these things that are there. Tweak them to your personality, but trust what's going on. Same thing for this process of you breaking down. For us to identify and for you to start facing reality, trust the process that I'm telling you of unfolding and digging deep inside and start looking at who you are and why you're thinking the way that you are and what's actually happening. And start asking questions and not ignoring so many things. You know, we don't want to face reality, so we don't ask questions that we know are going to give us answers that we don't want to hear. So start understanding that this piece is what's going to need, what is needed for you to break down what's going on. Well, thank you, Katrina. I'm glad something is that you're liking this. So as I wrap this up, and then I'm going to take questions, this is going to be what I call your harmony work. This is what I want you to do between now and next week. So I want you to start getting in touch with your feelings. What I normally tell people to do is for the next 7 days, write down at least one word that you're feeling. But what you guys are working on, write down at least something that's in your folded side and start looking at the feelings around that. Or you can do the exercise of writing down at least one feeling a day. And just start, what I want you to do is I want you to start believing in yourself. I want you to start paying attention in yourself because, you know, as women by nature, we're constantly shoving down our feelings. People are telling us we're too emotional. We shouldn't think that way. You know, we shouldn't be so emotional, but that's who we are. But we need to understand that and then learn how to deal with it to where we can still carry on a decent conversation and make the decisions we want to. So to do that, we're going to have to get back in touch with ourselves. We're going to have to get back into loving who we are and feeling ourselves pain, feel that pain that we've wanted to move away and start thinking about that again. Start trusting yourself again, start trusting your decisions, start making decisions based on, if you make your decision based on your spiritual beliefs, the facts in front of you, asking the questions, getting as much knowledge as you can, and then making a decision, trust that what you're doing. And then be committed to listening. Be committed to listening to each of us as we give you some feedback. Be committed to listening to yourself. Listen to the things that are happening around you and pay attention to that. Now, you know that whenever you get outside thoughts, you know, you hear it, you roll it around. I tell the kids at work, I says, when people give you information, just take it and just let it roll around in your head and say, ooh, I like that, and keep it. And if you don't like it, push it out. That's all you got to do. But what you want to do is you want to collect as much knowledge as you can, and that makes it you being able to make a more informed decision. And so that's your work for this week. And yes. Thank you, Michelle. And be comfortable doing it. Yes, Doretta. Yes. So that's what I have. I'm going to look in the questions. Yes, attendees select all panelists and attendees for everyone to see the chat. Yes, I forgot about that. Yeah, if you're putting something in the chat, you have to put to all panelists and attendees, or no one can see. Only person. If you put all panelists, Only person that can see it right now is me. If you switch it to all panelists and attendees, everybody can see it. Any other questions? Any questions about the work you have to do? So we're learning. So Katrina wrote, so we're learning to get into our deep feelings daily. This can help low self-esteem. Yes, that's what we're doing. In this breakdown, in these 3 weeks of breakdown. And I used to do this like on a daily basis, like 3 days together, but I found that so much is coming up as you do this that I'm going to break it out into weeks to give you a time to digest what I just told you. Because if you really do the exercise, if you really look at the folded side of yourself, if you look at yourself, the closed petal side of yourself, and how you're constantly holding things back, not wanting to say, you can't find the right word, so you just don't say it at all. Because you need to understand, feelings don't go away. They just go inside you, embed into yourself, and they make you sick. So feelings don't die. They just stay there. So what you want to do is start understanding those feelings and taking that part. So um, I was looking at, let's say, Michelle says she was in pain, trying to work, in pain last week, trying to stay positive and getting my work done, but it's been a struggle. Yes. So Michelle, in those times when it's stuff like that, you know, you need to have somebody that you can count on. Say, hey, I'm trying to do this. Can you help me with X, Y, and Z? And it may be something people can help you with. And that's part of what we want to do. Or just be able to tell yourself, hey, I am in pain. I am going to have to rest. Because sometimes you do. Sometimes the pain is your body telling you, Michelle, sit down. You know, and because it's time to rest that little piece of yourself. Any other questions? So a couple things I want you to do. So Katrina says that she keeps having panic attacks in some situations. How do you control that? That's a whole, everybody is different with those. The main thing I can tell you that I've noticed when I've had them, or people that I know, one is to just breathe and to kind of think about what's causing them. See, because what, again, that's your body telling you, you know, something happened. So let me explain this. And you guys probably know because you're two of you are nurses. So what happens when your body gets upset and you notice that cortisol level and your body jumps in that fight, flight, or freeze mode? That added the freeze. And so what happens is your body starts jumping through that adrenaline. And what happens when that happens? What happens when it happens? So your body decides, I need to fight or I need to flee. And so but whatever I need to do is I need to give off some energy. If you've been through domestic violence, if you've been through a constant traumatic experience, your body stayed in that spot. Every time something happens, you've seen like little kids that have been abused, they flinch. Well, what happens is their body continues to shoot up that cortisol that in their body, and it starts causing stress. It starts causing some nervous things, and that anxiety come through because it keeps coming up, and it can't get rid of it. When it can't get rid of it, it starts overflowing into other pieces of your body. And not being a doctor, psychologist, or any of that, my understanding is that though that's kind of what's happening when the anxiety pulls up. So it's something inside there that is saying, um, yeah, Doretta says, pay attention to the thoughts that bring that on. So start paying attention. And again, make sure you're hitting all panelists and attendees, and then everybody can see it. When you put in the chat down at the bottom, it says all panelists. Slide down and click all panelists and attendees so everybody can see it. So as Doretta is saying, she says to pay attention to the thoughts that bring it on. So when that anxiety is happening, what is happening? Not just the situation, but the thought. You know, if I do this, then. If I do this, that. So make sure that you understand what that is. And it's probably some of those things that are on that folded side of the paper. It's probably some of those things that you're holding inside that you're not even wanting to think about. And I know as you started telling your story, Katrina, and working through pieces, you know, some things are coming up that you don't want to deal with. And so you shove them back down and you deal with what's on the surface because you can handle them right now. That's not going to get you to your next. That's why I'm doing this, because this breakdown has to happen for you to be who you want to be. I know, Katrina, like I said, I know the three of you that you're trying to do some work. You're trying to tell your story. You're trying to help other women. You're constantly in a fight or flight mode because of the capacity of which you're helping other survivors. So there's some things that are being triggered in there. There's things that you haven't even dealt with yourself. And that's what we're wanting to do. We're wanting to get down to the reality of what's that. These things happen. How do I feel about it? What do I need to do with it? Now, as you guys go through this, some of you are going to have to go out and get some professional help. Some of you, if you talk this through here, talk this through, you know, with me, sometimes you may not need that. It just depends on where you are and how much you've dealt with what you are. But these are some things that are going to start coming up. And it may be that you need to set up a session with me to do some deeper, you know, one-on-one talking to do this. And I may even tell you that, hey, we've talked through this part. Now you need to do some healing techniques. And I may say, hey, you need to go and work with Doretta, and you may need to do some tapping on this, some electrical frequency tapping. And it could be different ways that we need to work through this. But this breakdown has to happen. As friends would say, it got to happen. It just got to happen for you to be able to break through and help the people you want to help. Your kettle is empty. You know, you may have a few drops of water left in it, but you cannot feed the masses that you're trying to feed with an empty kettle. And so these are the pieces that you're going to have to work through. Yeah. Like she said to Katrina, your work is going to bring up what's happened to you on a daily basis. And so this has got to happen. You know, and we need to heal ourselves before we can continue to heal others. We can heal people to a certain spot. I mean, as I do this with you guys, I'm working on this myself. There's things in myself that I've had to work through, you know, because I've had to say, you know, someone told me once as we were doing some coaching, because I've had several coaches, you know, when you go out and tell your story, You do not want to regurgitate so much into your audience that they're now feeling so empathetic and sympathetic for you that they can't function because you've gave them, as Lisa would say, you've taken them into the dip and you've left them in that dip. So your stage cannot be your therapy session. Your stage needs to be where you go and share, but for awareness, but not for sympathy's sake. And I'm not saying, that anybody here that is doing that, but this is just a reminder of how we need to heal ourselves before we can go out and add to the masses. We may be at a point that we can work through 15, 20, 50 people, but if we want to share our story and help the thousands of people that we want, and then we're going to have to do this breakthrough, so we can build up and add that water to our kettle. And so what I would like for you to do, whether you're watching this live or if you're catching this on the replay, I do have a survey that's out there that's going to give me some feedback. If you'll type that in and you go do that survey for me, I really, really appreciate it. You guys are getting this for free, but the next people that get this will not be free. This is what I'm doing because you guys are in my group, have trusted in me, have, been with me. So this is why those that are in my group are getting this first. And this is something I'm offering to you. And the other thing, if you feel that you want to get any deeper than what we're going in here, if you want coaching through the process, I've kind of told you what to do with the folded and the unfolded. But if you want me to coach you through it, if you want me to give you questions, if you want me, I don't like saying hold your hand, but basically just really give you that support around the unfolding of these emotions that you're dealing with, go ahead, book your consultation. We'll have a 15-minute consultation. I'll kind of tell you what the pricing is around there. There is a fee around that part. But for this, just going through like we're doing now, right now we're giving you this free. And there's a couple other ways that we can go through this. But I would appreciate if you would do the survey, if you will go in and see, I wonder if tell me what you think. Give me any ideas of give me some ideas of what you think, how this is going, whether you're liking it or not, whether you want to add to it. Everybody have this written down because I'm going to stop this share. Come back over here. So you still have 1 minute left. If you have any other questions, let me know what you think. I hope this has helped you some. I hope it has at least helped you start your breakdown. I hope that we continue this, next week. As I said, we'll go through some more pieces, another exercise. If you have any questions between then, put it in the group. If you don't mind, put in the group, tell everybody how you thought today was, and they can still register. And so just let them know what you thought about today. Let me know in your feedback what's going on. And I hope that you have enjoyed it. See if there's any other questions. There's no questions. There's no chat. Thank you, ladies. Again, I am Andrea Merriman, your Creative Harmony Coach. Thank you for joining me for 3B with Harmony Coach Andrea, where we will go through your breakdown, your breakthrough, and get you to your build up. Bye-bye, ladies.